Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? Am I on? Am I live? Welcome to my Revolver Era World Cup. I'll explain Revolver Era in a moment. Hopefully we'll have a bit of fun over the next hour or so. So why Revolver? Well, if you've been listening this week, there's been shall we call it news? I don't think it's official enough yet to call it news. It's still at the rumour stage. But as rumours go, I've heard. Let's put it this way: I've heard worse rumours within the last hour. Are we getting a Revolver box set in October? Maybe. Doesn't seem definite yet, but certainly there's word out there that would seem to have a bit of credibility to it that we might be getting that in October, so that will be exciting. It is also this week the anniversary of the release of Revolver, which was the 5th of August 1966. So we're, a couple of days away from that, so Friday would be the anniversary. So I thought, well, with everything that's happening, coming together, let's do a Revolver World Cup, or Revolver Era. So we are going to smash together all the 14 songs from the UK version of Revolver. So not the one that weirdly omits various John Lennon songs, the UK version of Revolver, plus the two other songs of that era from those sessions, Paperback Writer and Rain, which very handily brings us up to 16, which is a very useful number when you're doing a knockout draw, because it saves you having to do any preliminary rounds or anything like that. So I thought, yeah, let's put Paperback Writer and Rain in there. They would have been perfect on Revolver. They're obviously that era. Let's have them in there as well. So we are going to move on fairly soon. I've got all the names in a hat. I'm going to draw it live, so there's no jiggery-pokery on the draw. You'll see the draw. You are going to get a chance to vote which is the song that you want to put through to the next round each time, so it's your decision. Only if it's a tie will I get a casting vote, so that would be fun. If we could have a casting vote or two, that would be great. And we'll see what gets crowned the winner. So interesting. What else has been happening? We're going to give it we're going to kick off soon, but we'll just give a few people a chance to join. So I'm going to have a look at what's happening on the chat. Hello, everybody who's saying hello. What have we got? Have we got anything on here that needs addressing? Declan says, good evening, Andrew. Thanks for the heads up on All Things Must Pass. What's that all about? Some of you might be asking. So this was literally within the last half hour. I think it was, about half an hour ago. I saw that there was a great deal on Amazon for the George Harrison All Things Must Pass CD Super Deluxe box set. It was down to 48 quid, and I think it probably still is. And I looked at the 8LP vinyl, because I keep looking at the price for that every now and again, and that was down to a good price as well. I have, in the last 15 minutes, just pulled the trigger on that and bought the 8LP George Harrison All Things Must Pass. I did buy the 3-disc version, the splatter vinyl, last year when that came out. I probably should have gone for the 8-disc version, but doing it this way, I had a 40 quid voucher as well, so I've bought the 8LP version and it's costing me £64. I'm going to put some links there if you want to, if that's of interest to you, because there is some that should be coming through on the chat, I think. Yeah. Yeah, that's some great bargains there. Hello, everybody. 48 Great British Pounds, says Lima. Yeah, that's for the CD Deluxe box set. That's best price by a long way that I've seen it. And it's probably even now, I would say, lower than what it should have been at the start, because I remember at the start I gave it a bit of a savaging when it came out. Not for the contents, really, but for the price they were charging for those contents. I think it was over £100. Is it about £110? And it's not a £110 box set, but my goodness, 48 quid, that is a bargain. Anyway, Beat Bailey, hi there. Do I still have no interest in the McCartney 321 box set on Friday? I haven't ordered it. I don't feel I need it. They've not said that, apart from a few pictures and a box to put them in, what is that would tempt me in? They're not brand new remixes or super duper remasters or anything like that, or certainly not that they've said anyway. So no, I haven't ordered that, and I don't intend to. The link doesn't work, says Penny Star. I tell you what, I will do them separately. So the first one coming through now is for the CD box set. The second one coming through now is for the 8LP vinyl. Okay? They should work hopefully better coming through now. Hi Izzy, how you doing? Anthony, oh yes, what are the chances? This isn't Anthony asking a question about what are the chances that we will be sat next to each other at the Mark Lewison show. We actually are, purely by chance. We were comparing notes the other day, so hopefully many of you have seen, although of course a lot of you won't be able to get to it because of where you live. Mark Lewison's doing another show, which I've been to see 2 of his shows now, and they are brilliant. You come away with your mind expanded. And so I booked tickets when they went on sale on Friday, and Anthony booked a ticket, and you sat next to me, aren't you, Anthony? So it'd be nice to meet you, say hello. You never give your photo away, though, so I don't know what you look like, so you'll have to introduce yourself to me, because I won't know that it's you. Mark Lewison knows everything, pretty much. Link is working, says Graham. Thank you, Graham. Beat Bailey, you're going to be sat on the same row I am. So I think it was row C in the stalls down at the front on the Saturday afternoon show. So I'm really looking forward to that. Detroit Funk, I think that is an excellent suggestion to hit like. YouTube likes that and it thinks, oh, people must like this video. We'll show it to other people. So that would be great. False Flag says, Andrew, do you know what really happened when Paul walked out of the She Said, She Said session? No, other than obviously there was an argument. He doesn't appear on the song at all, I believe. Will that be expanded upon more if there is a box set coming out soon? I don't know. Does Paul really remember that level of detail? I mean, I know I don't. Flipping heck. I mean, if I'd have walked out of a session in a studio last year, I don't think I'd remember it now. So it would be interesting to see whether they do mention that. Hi Mike, ask Mark when the book is coming out. I'm sure that he gets asked no other question than that. I saw him, when did I first see him? It was about 2018. And he said he didn't think it would be within the next 3 years. So I guess we're kind of at the point where might we start to see it within the next year or so? I don't know, maybe, but that's just, I've no knowledge on that at all. Pure speculation. That's not even speculation, it's a hope. George plays bass on She Said. Yeah, I know Paul's not on there. Is it true George Harrison had a massive fallout with George Harrison, says Graham. I don't know. Are you thinking of the Ruttles there where Stig sued himself accidentally? I don't know, Graham. Yeah, it would be interesting to see if that kind of thing gets covered. Stereo or mono revolver? Well, the mono revolver is great, but it's a little bit muddy. I actually bought the Yellow Submarine Songtrack album just at the weekend. I'd never owned this. I had it on CD from the day it came out, but I'd never owned it on vinyl until this weekend. And I was listening to this and listening to things like Eleanor Rigby. You just think, you know, that's a proper stereo mix. That's great. But Nowhere Man was fantastic, and that really got me sort of excited for a Rubber Soul remix. If they get round to that at some point, which I expect they will. That's by far, that's like, wow, we've got a proper stereo remix of Nowhere Man. Well, we've had it for 23 years. I just never really paid that much attention to it. Hi, David. Is Mark in Leeds again? No, these shows are only in London. He's doing 3 shows in London over 2 days. But he has said he's having it filmed. He's hoping to have it streamed. And I don't know whether that means streamed live or recorded for streaming or whatever at a later date. I don't know. But if you can't get to these shows, then it does sound like Mark is trying to find a way for people to be able to see it online in some way. So that would be good. Is Revolver confirmed, Martin? No, it's not confirmed at all. It's kind of a rumour that's built a lot of momentum this week. And it certainly seems more credible than some rumours that I've heard just recently. Let's put it like that. So what's a song on Revolver that you can't stand? Says Cullip. Well, there's no song on Revolver that I can't stand. Hi Tyrone, where in London? It's at is it the Bloomsbury Theatre? I was looking on the map. It's kind of potentially within walking distance of MPL in Soho, Paul's office, maybe about 20 minutes walk away. So I might see if I can get down there. I'm going to take a train down. Cheers, everybody, by the way. I'm having a cider tonight. It's been warm again today. Sorry, Graham, yes, you meant George had a big fallout with Mark Lewison. Yes, he did. think the story goes, as I heard it, that back in the days when Mark had access at Abbey Road, that he brought somebody else in to the control room or whatever, and George took offence at somebody else being brought in who George didn't think should have been there. And yeah, I think from that point onwards, I think is that around about the time when Mark no longer worked for them, which is a shame. So what type of cider do I recommend? Ooh, well, just don't go for anything generic like Strongbow. Just find a good sort of independent cider, and you're probably not going to go far wrong there. Anthony, what Paul McCartney song has moved you to tears or makes you emotional? Warm and Beautiful is the one for you. I think Maybe I'm Amazed is always the one that I just think, flipping heck, this is just, if you could bottle the essence of Paul McCartney and everything that he's about and everything that he's capable of, you open that bottle and you get hit with the intro to Maybe I'm Amazed. It's maybe that's the one for me. Which album would I rather they remix next? Help, Rubber Soul or Revolver? Well, I think they've either got to start from the beginning and work forwards, Please Please Me and work forwards, or go to Revolver and work backwards. Ideally, if it was up to me, I would want either a 1962 box this year or fill in that Yellow Submarine and Magical Mystery Tour gap that we've got that sort of sits between the Sgt. Pepper and the White Album box sets. That would be my preference, but I'm going to be as excited as anybody about a remix of Revolver and all the stuff that goes with it, because I was listening to the things that are on Anthology. There's only 7 songs on Anthology 2 that are from the Revolver sessions, that's all, and then there's another 2 on the Real Love single, Yellow Submarine and Here, There and Everywhere. So we've not really got much at all from those Revolver sessions officially. Muller Kintyre says Detroit Funk. I think I agree. That's, when those bagpipes kick in and everything, and it really builds up. It's a fantastic song. I really do think so. Joseph, any word about Paul's shows from this last tour being turned into an official CD set? I've not heard anything about that. I'd be surprised if it happened, but what I think we will see is, we know that there's been some massive documentary worked on that's been over the last 10 years or so. It was supposed to culminate with Paul at Glastonbury in 2020. Of course, that got delayed 2 years. So hopefully they'll have had it nearly ready, but just with Glastonbury to put on as maybe the ending of it. So hopefully something might start to happen with that fairly soon. We will see. I'm going to start kicking off soon, folks, with this Revolver World Cup, because that's what I advertised it as. That's what you're here for. I don't want to be accused of false advertising, so we will kick off soon. I just wanted to. I was just sort of gathering up my various copies of Revolver just to see what I had. I've got 5 copies of Revolver. I've certainly got more of Sgt. Pepper, but I was picking out this. This actually, it dawned on me yesterday when I got this out. This was the first Beatles record I ever bought. This one here. This was a vinyl version that I bought in June 1989 in my hometown of Bridlington on the East Coast. It's not particularly brilliant Parlophone label on that, and it's quite a flimsy bit of vinyl. So that was the first Beatles product of any kind. I mean, I had Paul McCartney stuff at this point, but I didn't have anything Beatles related, and that was the first ever. I've got the mono vinyl from the Beatles in mono box set, the magnificent one, and then 3 copies on CD that probably a lot of you have got: the original 1987 CD, the 2009 remaster, and from the Beatles in mono CD box set, I've got the Revolver there. So 5 copies of Revolver, one of the great albums of all time. Shall we begin our Revolver World Cup? Shall we? Okay, no more messing about. Let's do this. So, I've got, as always, my spreadsheet ready, which is just taking up far too much of the screen. I'm prepared, but I wasn't prepared enough, was I? I have graphs today that will hopefully work. Interactive graphs. We'll come on to those a little bit later. So, round 1, we have got 16 songs here. So we've got 14 songs from the UK version of Revolver, plus Paperback, Writer and Rain. That's why I've called it the Revolver Era World Cup. makes it up to a very handy 16 that works very well for a knockout draw. They're all in here. I'm going to pick the first 2 out in a moment. I'm going to give you a poll for you to vote on your favourite. The favourite will go through to the quarterfinal. We'll keep doing that. We'll build up our 8 quarterfinalists and we will go from there. Are we ready? Right. Okay. I am going to pull out 2 at random. Oops, one's just fallen on the floor, so that can be the other one. So we have got, our first matchup is, hopefully you can read that okay. I want to tell you, we'll play against Paperback Writer. So it is George versus Paul. So I am going to kick you off with a poll, and then I will put that into our spreadsheet and we will get going. Right, okay, I'm just typing out your poll now. Give me one moment. So I want to tell you we'll play Paperback Writer. Okay, you should have your poll through now. So everybody vote for the one that you would like to put through to the next round. Which is your favourite? Am I using a new camera? Picture and audio a bit laggy, says SOH131. No, it's the same setup as normal, so that's a shame. That's a shame. How has ditching the hard CD cases been for me recently, says Matt. Absolutely fine. No issues at all. No regrets. I've done about 700 CDs now, and I've actually just done all my DVDs as well. I've got DVD equivalents, and I've just done all those as well because the amount of space I've saved is phenomenal. It really is. So anyway, how's this poll going so far? 80% of you are voting for Paperback Writer so far. Interesting. If you're a George fan, if you want, I want to tell you to go through, you better vote for it quick because look at that. We've even got a bit of autofill on the names there now. Preparation is key, folks. Preparation is key. Paperback Writer has the best guitar riff, says Paula. Hello, Paula. How are you doing? Yeah, they're both good guitar songs, aren't they? I don't think George is going to do anything on this poll. He's not going to get back from this. We've had 104 votes. Thank you, everybody who's voted so far. That's great. But we're going to end this poll in 5 seconds because it's practically murder, is this poll. So I'm going to end that poll. And Paperback Writer, look at that, has made it through to the next round. Okay, our next matchup is going to be, there's one, there's t'other, as we say in Yorkshire. We've got Dr. Robert will play Good Day Sunshine. Okay, so it is John versus Paul this time. Okay, let me get you a poll. You can be cracking on with that while I then catch up with your chat. Dr. Robert versus Good Day Sunshine. Go. Go. Do your worst or do your best. So we've got Dr. Robert versus Good Day Sunshine. There you go. Let's see how that goes. Hi, Mark. Did I ever see Neil Innes in concert? He used to tell a story about how amazing the chord sequence was in I Want to Tell You. Yes, I saw Neil. He was stood next to me when I bought this T-shirt, actually. I did a little mini interview with Neil it's about 17 years ago at a gig in Leeds. It was completely impromptu. At the end of the night, I just fired a load of questions at him when he had much better things to be doing, packing up, but he gave me loads of time. It was brilliant. I'm going to see if I can dig out the transcript of that interview one day and do a bit of a video about it because it was quite interesting. And I saw him a few other times and he was brilliant. Mainly I saw him with the Ruttles, but I did see him a couple of times just on his own, just him and a keyboard and a guitar. Fantastic. Hi, Seal Decker. Sorry you're late. No problem. There's no note needed. The remix of which song from Revolver am I most looking forward to hearing? I think, ironically, it would be the one that has probably held back this release most, and that's Tomorrow Never Knows. I think there was some technical issues about why they were going to struggle to do a remix of that, and I think it was to do with the way that the tape loops were recorded. I'm sure I've heard Giles Martin talking about that one. How's this poll going? 60% for Good Day Sunshine. Okay, Good Day Sunshine's doing well. It's up to 61% now. Neil Innes always seems like such a warm man, says he. He was brilliant. He was a great man. And Bonzo Dog Doodah Band, their album Gorilla. It's impossible to listen to that album and just not be very, very happy at the end of it. Absolutely fantastic. Tyrone, quick question. It says October with Mark. Is that Mark Lewison? Yeah, October 7th and 8th. October 7th is a Friday, and that could be an interesting day, Beatles fans. Nothing definite yet, but that could be a day to watch out for. Not for Revolver, but for something else. We shall see. And then 2 shows on the 8th. Oh, Viv Stanshall block vlog. He was just fantastic. Such a way with words. Anyway, how's this poll going? I'm going to give this poll another 10 seconds because it looks like it's about all sorted. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was a quick 10 seconds, but we will end the poll. Good Day Sunshine has made it through to the next round with about 61% of the vote, I believe. So that's going to be an interesting matchup in round 2. We've got Paul versus Paul there. Hello, Martin. Another latecomer. Don't worry. No required. 61% for Good Day Sunshine. I say that because it's useful for the people who watch on catch-up because they don't get to see the poll results. So, okay, what have we got here? We have got to Get You Into My Life. We'll play Love You Too. Okay, so it's Paul versus George again. So let's get you a poll and let's see how we do with that. So it's got to... I'm not typing all of that out. Love You Too. Right, you should be able to see that poll now. So it's Got to Get You Into My Life versus Love You Too. This will be an interesting one. Yes, did somebody say that it's all Paul so far? Interesting. This is about the time when Paul was really starting to cook on gas, wasn't he? He was really sort of starting to... Obviously, John was in the lead early on. I think it's probably fair to say that Paul took over towards the end. This was about the point where I think they were sort of fighting it out about neck and neck here. If you compare John's best, like Tomorrow Never Knows and She Said, those kind of things, you know, Paul was batting level with him definitely by this point. Hi Joe, you really love your copy of the Get Back on Blu-ray. Excellent. Did I get my copy yet? Yes, I did a video about it on the day it came out. It's up there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's up there. I'm going to get this spreadsheet updated because that's it needs doing. We need to keep on top of the admin, folks. So Got to Get You Into My Life will play. What's it playing? Love You Too. There you go. How's it going? Got to Get You Into My Life has got 77%. Is it going to be Paul again? Is Paul going to make it 3 out of 3 here? Blimey. Blockfrog, you have Viv's album Teddy Boys Don't Knit. It's so good. I don't have that. The only one I have of Viv's is Rawlinson's End. Just a spoken word story. It's a little bit of hard work, but you know, it's a bit of time in the company of Viv Stanshall. There's nothing to be upset about there, is there? Love You Too is actually a good song, says Oliver. Hi, Oliver. Yeah, fantastic. There is no duff songs in this competition. There's going to be... we've not had any real big heavyweight first round matches yet, but I can sense... I wouldn't be surprised if there's some big clash comes up. Okay, 10 seconds for this. I think this is about all over. But yeah, George is not having a good time of it so far. I'm sure Taxman will surely do well when it comes up. But that is Got to Get You Into My Life is through to the quarterfinals. With what percentage of the vote did it get? Let's have a look. Has that come through yet? It was about 76% of the vote. Brilliant. Right. So let's have... Well, hi Carl, you should do a seeded draw like the proper World Cup. The thing is, when I do that, I get accused of cheating, of, he's just kept all his favourites apart because he don't want them to play each other early on. And people moan at me when I do that. So I think there's a bit more fun in, we've had I think we did like a White Album one, and we got some like two ridiculously big songs in the first round. It's exciting. It's Liverpool versus Man City in the third round of the FA Cup. It's exciting. We've got Yellow Submarine, and it is playing against Here, There and Everywhere. It's Paul versus Ringo. Although if we're talking about who wrote the songs, it's Paul versus pretty much Paul, really. So we've got Yellow Submarine versus, what was the other one? Here, There and Everywhere. There you go. Right, I better get you a poll, hadn't I? Chris, I'll come on to your question in a moment about London Town. Bear with me. Yellow Submarine will play Here, There and Everywhere. Let's get you your poll. Take 2 seconds. I feel like I'm going at 100 miles an hour here. I just need to calm it down a little bit. Marcus, you think John had the best output on the White Album? Yeah, possibly so. Anyway, Chris was saying, any news of a London Town release? There's no news. If somebody says they have news, at the moment, they have no news. There isn't any news out there about it. But that doesn't mean to say it's not happening and it's not coming and we just don't know yet. It may well come fairly soon, but that is not known at all yet. So hopefully it seems crazy that Paul's biggest release this year would be the Mccartney 1, 2, 3 box set. This is a man who loves to make money off box sets, and why not? We lots of us want to give that money. I just can't believe that that's going to be the big release of the year. Anyway, how's this doing? Here, There and Everywhere is currently on 80%. Oh, I feel bad for Yellow Submarine because it's a classic. Yellow Submarine is a wart on the face of the Mona Lisa, says Gary. I've just remembered I've got that option, haven't I, to do that. That's harsh, Gary. That's harsh. I am so angry. But I'm not going to let it bother me. Please tell me if I'm back. Can you tell me in the chat, please, if I'm back? And I will then apologise as much as I possibly can, and I will tell you what has just happened. But yeah, if you could let me know if I'm back, because I think I am, but I'm not certain. I could be talking to myself just here. Thank you so much to those of you that have stuck around for this. Right, am I back? I know there's a bit of a time lag, so I'm waiting for people to hear what I'm saying. And as it's, please don't say it's stuck again. I'm sorry. I'm not going to bother. Please tell me if I'm back. Can you tell me in the chat, please, if I'm back? And I will then apologise as much as I possibly can, and I'll tell you what's just happened. But yeah, you can let me know. Am I back, folks? It's not letting me type anything in the chat, so I don't know if I'm back. I might end this stream and start a new one. Hello, am I back? I might be. Am I back? Yes. Oh my God. Oh my flipping God. So I had a power cut. I was halfway through a sentence and just the lights went. But it was one of those where it went off for a second, came back on, but it just knocked out the internet, and then the router refused to come back on, and I've had an absolute mare. Right. Let's carry on in the Cricketers' Arms in Selby, says David. What a splendid idea. Can everybody get to the Cricketers' Arms in Selby and we'll do this thing offline? No, come on, let's do this. Let's do this. Come on. Right. Where were we? I am so stressed out. I am sweating like Prince Andrew in a Pizza Express. I really am. Where are we? Right. We were doing Here, There and Everywhere versus Yellow Submarine, which I believe was a wart on the Mona Lisa. I think that's what did it. I think it was that comment was so controversial that it just knocked my electrics out for the whole house. So, come on. Here, There and Everywhere has got 83% versus Yellow Submarine. I'm going to end that poll because you've all had about 3 hours to vote on it. I'm going to end that poll. Paul's got 4 out of 4. So I'm so sorry, everybody. And I just want to say thank you to those of you who stuck around. All I could do is I managed to get on my data on my phone. I managed to get a message onto Twitter to say what was happening because I couldn't do it even on this chat because YouTube refused to show that this video existed. So I couldn't come onto the chat for this video and tell you. Sound's not in sync, Neil. That is the least of my worries at the moment. That's a shame if it's not in sync, but that is the least of my worries. So, yes, Cast of Sherman the router. In England, we say router, not router. So, lol, funny. I don't know what I've done. I don't know what I've done, but I might have said something funny. I don't know what it was. Anyway, right. Can we get back to this flipping thing? Before I keel over and have a connery in the corner of the room. Right, Paul has got 4 out of 4. Come on. This is ridiculous. I mean, you know I love my Paul McCartney, but this is getting silly now. It's getting a bit one-sided. Kevin, that is above and beyond. Thank you very much. Nobody should ever give money for this nonsense, especially for the amateurishness of my internet connection, but thank you. That is so much appreciated. Anyway, we've got Eleanor Rigby versus I'm Only Sleeping. You know, we said we had 4 out of 4 for Paul. I wonder where this is going. Eleanor Rigby versus I'm Only Sleeping. But it's not up to me, it's up to you. I'm going to get you a poll because I can. Because I'm online and it's amazing. Isn't the internet wonderful when it works? Eleanor Rigby. Anybody watching this back on catch up probably won't see any of that, what's just happened. It'll just seamlessly go from me looking a normal colour to me looking really red with no gap in between. So here's your poll anyway. Eleanor Rigby versus I'm Only Sleeping. Let's see if we can get this back on track, folks. I hope we have no more issues. Fingers crossed. Touch wood. And we'll see what happens. I hope we can make it to the end of this. Anyway, I need to calm down a bit. How's this going? Eleanor Rigby's got 63% so far. It's a good start. For one of the big hitters, there's no doubt it's one of the big hitters. Marcus says, I sure hope Eleanor Rigby doesn't win this draw. It's probably going to, but it's tiring after a while. Yeah. What's this? Reference to Danny Baker. I always like a Danny Baker reference. Take away the Beatles comedy songs, Yellow Submarine, Maxwell, etc., etc. And what have you got? The Rolling Stones, to paraphrase Danny Baker. Okay. Thank you, Music Man. My review of Oasis at Nebworth. When was that? That was a long time ago now. Late last year, wasn't it? Yeah, what a great day Oasis at Nebworth was. How's this going? Eleanor Rigby's got 64%. I suspect I'm Only Sleeping is probably getting a few votes on the basis of people want to get a flipping John Lennon song into the next round after everything that's happened so far. So actually the top half of the draw is all Paul McCartney. We're guaranteed a Paul McCartney song in the final now as a result of that. I'm going to give this another 10 seconds. Listen to Eleanor Rigby, immediately followed by Look at Me Now by ELO. Interesting. What's the other one? The ELO one. I can't remember which one it is, but then you do that and Changing Man by Paul Weller. Is it one of the overtures or something? And you realise, my God, Paul Weller nicked Changing Man from ELO. Anyway, let's end this poll now because it's had plenty of time. Eleanor Rigby is sailing through. I didn't even get a chance to write this down on here. Eleanor Rigby versus, what was it playing against? I'm Only Sleeping. Eleanor Rigby has made it through. 5 out of 5 for Paul. Come on, folks. We've got to, but you know, that's where the winners have come from. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 left in here. Okay. Right. I'm going to get... It's not letting me end this poll. I hope I haven't frozen again. If I have, I'm just going to cry in a corner. I'm just going to cry in a corner. If I have... Am I online, folks? I'm not sure, so I'm just going to hang on a moment. Because I'm not sure whether I'm online or not. Oh, okay, it says the poll's ended. Am I live? Right, okay, it's just that I think I've just lost all trust in technology. It wouldn't let me put a poll on, which is a concern for the next round. But let's see anyway. Sorry, folks. I'm just trying to sort this out. Joys of technology, eh? Joys of technology. So if you're saying I'm online, I'm going to do the draw. I'm going to do the next draw. Which is, whoops, those 2 there. Sorry, folks. My page is just stuck here. Tell me if I'm online, please. Okay, I think I'm online. I'm gonna go with this and assume I'm online, even though my computer is telling me that I'm not. We've got She Said, She Said. We'll play For No One. These are two, I would say these are 2 pretty big hitters here. She Said, She Said versus For No One. So I'm going to get you a poll as soon as I can. As soon as my computer starts behaving itself, I'm going to get you a poll. Because it won't let me do it at the moment, but I think I'm getting close to being able to do it. Oh, come on. I apologise if you may well be watching me. I really don't know, but it just, the page where you where you do polls and everything is just, it's frozen, and it's not letting me do it. So I know, Lima, sweet bejeebus. Right, okay. I think I found another way to do this. Right, okay. I'm getting your poll. Your poll is coming. Ah, right. You're annoyed by this? Not as much as I am, folks. Okay, your poll should be coming through now. She said, versus For No One. That should be just about through for you now. So let's see how that goes. Well, it's a big hitter for John, this, so I think he will certainly rack up a few votes here. And let's see how it goes. How's it going? Reese says, for no one, no doubt, absolutely one of the very best Beatles songs. I agree with that. Comic Collector says John should win this one. This is a tough one. Yes. So, interesting. Let's see how this vote is going. How's it going? Let's have a look. Sorry, folks. Still trying to sort out the gremlins. The after result of this power cut. It has just been absolutely horrendous getting everything back online after this. So I don't see any chat coming through. So I'm still not sure, 100% sure whether I'm online or not. I'm just going to have to go with it and try and catch up. See whether I can get this video coming through on my phone and look at it that way. Apologies, folks. Blooming technology. I spent so long preparing for this as well. You wouldn't believe. You would not believe. Let's have a look. The kind of biased music critic says she said is literally my most favourite Beatles song. For once I'm rooting against Paul. Interesting. You can see me. It's just everything's... I think we've got an internet issue in the area here from what I was seeing. Not just at my end. I think it might be the village that I'm in is actually having an issue. Potentially. So this is a close one. Right, I finally got the poll percentages up on my screen. For no one is on 54%. She said is on 46%. Right, so interesting. So I'm going to give this another sort of 15 seconds or so. So I've given everybody plenty of time to vote on this. Thank you again, everybody, for everybody who stuck around with the technical problems that I've had. It has been absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, another 5 seconds on this. And I am going to look to end this poll. And you know what, folks? Paul's done it again. Paul's won through again. This is unbelievable. You know, nobody can accuse me here of Paul bias. This is your votes coming through here, and you've put Paul McCartney through 6 out of 6 so far. Unbelievable. So we have got what we actually need is a matchup that doesn't have a Paul song in it, which may well happen. So I've got 2 here. Oops, I've just ripped that piece of paper, but it says Taxman. That's what I think of the Taxman. We've got Taxman versus And Your Bird Can Sing. There is no Paul here. No Paul. We've got somebody else going through. Taxman versus And Your Bird Can Sing. Interesting. Right. It's not going to be 7 out of 7 for Paul. Let me get you a poll typed up for this. Taxman versus And Your Bird Can Sing. Okay, your poll should be on its way through very, very shortly. And we will... Yeah, your poll should be just about on its way through now. So we'll see what happens with this one. So, Taxman versus And Your Bird Can Sing. Interesting. I mean, what probably just about my favourite moment in the whole of the anthology series is that version of And Your Bird Can Sing. where they're just cracking up, and it's got that different melody as well, which it's interesting. That I'm not saying that what they ended up with on the album isn't as good or better, but it's interesting that they had a song so good and a melody so good, but they felt that they needed to change it to something radically different. I would love to know. I would love to have sort of heard the thought process behind why they felt they needed to do that. Very interesting. So what have we got here? A lot of people like And Your Bird Can Sing has got a slight lead, 52% to 48%. It's now 51% Taxman. So this is swinging both ways, is this one. Interesting. Sun Dodger says it's got to be Taxman. You love And Your Bird Can Sing, but... Paula says you agree with me that the best And Your Bird is on Anthology. Yeah, it's interesting that they felt they had to change it. Paul's guitar on Taxman is so brilliant. Absolutely. So this is, we're on 50-50. This is interesting. I'm going to make sure that everybody has got a chance to vote on this one before it ends, because this is a close vote, folks. Very close vote. It's still 50-50. So we've had 110 votes. It must be 55 each. Is it going to be a casting vote for me? That would be fun, wouldn't it? So we don't seem to be getting many more votes through. So I'm going to give you another 15 seconds here to vote. The laughing take is hard to beat, says Beat XT. Absolutely. Another 10 seconds and I'm going to end this poll. And if it's a draw, it's going to be very, very close, is this. If it's a draw, then I have got the casting vote. So let us end this poll and let's see what happens. I don't know what the result of this poll is going to be until it comes up on screen, because it's so close. But come on, it's not letting me end the poll. Let me just refresh this again. Sorry, folks, one moment. I'm just trying to get it. We're just having a little glitch. I'm going to rattle through this as quickly as possible, because with all these technical problems, I want this to be done and dusted as quickly as possible. Come on, end this poll. I want to know what the result is. I want to be starting to have a think for if I have to do the casting vote, which would be interesting. Come on. Come on, you can do this. John says Taxman is great and one of the catchiest guitar solos of all time, but it lacks the flourishing vibrancy and creativity of And Your Bird Can Sing. Interesting stats have come through here. 51 plus 47 clearly does not equal 100, but it does say that And Your Bird Can Sing has got 51% of the vote. It's beaten Taxman. I'll say I'm surprised. I thought Taxman might win that one, but I've not even filled it in on the spreadsheet yet because I've been so wrapped up in other things. But And Your Bird Can Sing is through to the quarterfinal. Taxman is out. That's interesting. Okay, right. So we've got two left. This is the last two for the first round, and then we can start whipping through these things. The last two are Tomorrow Never Knows versus Rain. It's two John Lennon classics. So let me get you a poll. Yeah, 51 and 47 Seal Decker. It's weird. I think it's had a bit of a. I think YouTube has had a bit of a meltdown there. I wonder whether is this me or is this YouTube, because YouTube's had a meltdown there, and my dodgy internet connection can't force numbers like that to come through. Yeah, I know, Chris. It's weird. That's YouTube working that out, not me. Very, very odd. So let me get you a poll anyway, if it's going to let me. I think YouTube, I think this is not just me. I think YouTube is having problems tonight, because I'm experimenting opening up other web pages, just like BBC News or something, and it's opening perfectly, and YouTube is being an absolute dog. So I think this is not just at my end, this issue, which is wonderful. How reassuring. Let's get this done while I'm here. Tomorrow Never Knows is playing against Rain, but I'm trying to get you your poll. Will it let me do? It won't let me do a poll on here. If it won't let me do a poll, then I'm going to ask you to type in the comments what you think your winner is, and I'm going to do a straw count vote. Because it's just been silly, is YouTube here. It's been very, very silly. So put in your comments, folks. Just type either tomorrow or Rain. Okay? If you do that, and I'm going to go now, I'm going to have a look and see which it looks like has won, because YouTube's just been an absolute pain in the backside now. Let's see what how the chat's going. What have we got on the chat? Hopefully we've got some votes coming through. Tomorrow Never Knows, Rain, TNK, Rain, tomorrow, both. Tyrone says it's easy, but, well, you need to let me know which way, Tyrone, if you're voting. Tomorrow Never Knows is groundbreaking. Rain is the best B-side ever, so they cancel each other out. Yeah, Marcus, luck of the draw. Absolute luck of the draw. YouTube is, yeah, I'm now convinced that YouTube is also having a moment, and this is not just a problem at my end here, because everything else I'm doing outside of YouTube is working perfectly. So Tomorrow Never Knows, Rain, Tomorrow Never Knows. This is actually close. This is not easy to tell from your comments which is winning, because it is, yeah, it's like being on YouTube in 1966. This is really, really close. Really close. Tomorrow, Rain, tomorrow. There's a lot of votes coming through for Tomorrow Never Knows now. A lot of votes. And my poll option looks like it's coming back up again. So I think Tomorrow Never Knows was doing well there. But I now have the ability again to do a poll, because YouTube is catching up with me. So I'm gonna double check it. It was looking even for a while, then a lot of votes for Tomorrow Never Knows come through, but it looks like you can actually do a poll now, so we'll see what happens there. Thank you very much to the 78 of you who are still online, because this has been so beset with problems. I have no right to expect any of you to have stuck with this, so thank you that you have. It's been ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So hopefully that poll has come through. I won't let the poll run for too long, so get your votes in really quickly, because I'm not going to let this poll run forever, because YouTube's been such a pain that I need to rattle through this, I think. Can you see the poll? I can't even see the poll at my end. The poll is up, right? Okay. You can see the poll. I can't. It's just ridiculous. Tomorrow has 66 in the poll. Okay, we've got 96 votes. Right, the poll is clearly working, even though I can't see it. So, if that's still on 66, then I think we're probably about to declare Tomorrow Never Knows the winner. 67-33. Thank you, Graham. But I can't end the poll if I can't see the flipping poll. So come on, I need this poll to come through. Yeah. Right, okay, well, I'm going to put Tomorrow Never Knows through. I've got the poll. Right, I can end the poll now. So the poll is ending. Tomorrow Never Knows is going through. Right, let's hope that we can have a bit more luck now. You know, I said I had some charts. Well, let's see what we had here. Let's see if this is going to work. I bet that thought flipping work now that this is on a go slow, but we'll see. So I'll go to that in a second. Actually, I'm going to get you your first poll up first for the second round. So we've got a lot of poll coming up in the next few minutes. We've got Paperback Writer versus Good Day Sunshine is the first poll that we're going to have in the second round, if it will let me do this. The bass line on Rain is just superb, says Elle. Yeah, it's one of those where it's just about... It's one of Paul's best bass lines, and it's one of Ringo's best drumming performances on a Beatles song. It's just absolutely cracking all round. Okay, right. This poll is playing up again, folks. Flipping heck. Tomorrow Never Knows was winning, but the poll has disappeared. Right, okay, so right, okay, I can create a new poll. So our new poll is going to be Paperback Writer versus Good Day Sunshine. Right, okay, come on, let's do this. We're getting there. Paperback versus Good Day Sunshine. Let's see how this goes. Right. Thank you, Ed. You're with me. Thank you for being with me. So the end result there was Tomorrow Never Knows got 66% of the votes, 33 for Rain. That'll be 66 point something and 33 point something. So we should have a new poll up there now, hopefully, for Paperback Writer versus Good Day Sunshine. Should be a poll there. I bet you feel like using naughty words, says Bruce. You flipping bet I do. But anyway, here we go. Here's my interactive charts. So we saw that in round one, we had John and Paul sort of had very even numbers of songs in round one, with a bit for George and one Ringo song in Yellow Submarine. Now, if we move down to round two, the quarterfinal, look at this. Look how it's changed. Paul has got 75% of the songs in round two. We need to put Tomorrow Never Knows through, don't we? And that will update that. Let's just put that through. Oh, Tomorrow Never Knows is through. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, and John's got 25% of the songs. So you see a massive change there from how it started to how it's ending up so far. That's how it started between the four of them. And Paul has just massively taken the lead in the quarterfinal. So anyway, how's this going? Paperback Writer versus Good Day Sunshine. Have you got the poll there? Hopefully you have. 77% of you have voted so far for Paperback Writer, with 22. Oh, it's just catching up on the votes. 87% of you have gone with Paperback Writer so far. 85%. The votes are coming flooding through in droves at my end. So I'm going to give you another 10 seconds on that, and then I'm going to end that poll. But it looks like Paperback Writer is going to go through to the semi-finals there. That's how it's looking to me. I'm pretty sure of that. Yeah, Paperback Writer is going through there. So let's get... Here we go. Paperback is through. So the next one is Got to Get You Into My Life versus Here, There and Everywhere. It's another... Well, we know we've got all Paul for a little while, don't we? Got to Get You Into My Life versus Here, There and Everywhere. So let's get you a poll for that. Got to Get... and Here, There and Everywhere, which I've spelt wrong. Do we worry too much about that? Yeah, let's put it right. So you should have a poll through now for your second quarterfinal. Final result there, by the way, was 79% of you voted for Paperback Writer. Excellent. So let's see how this one goes. Tits up, says Tyrone. Yeah, that's pretty much how the last 3/4 of an hour has gone, isn't it? This broadcast is a psychedelic experience, man. Oh, man. I'll be glad when it's all over, to be honest. I was so looking forward to this. And I'm enjoying your interaction on it. I'm enjoying seeing what you're voting for. But flipping heck, flipping heck. It's not easy when it goes like this. I am not what I seem, says Mccartney. I am not what I seem. That's from Help, isn't it? Why is this stream frame 3 frames per second? It's because I think YouTube's having a moment. I certainly was having a moment, but like I say, everything else other than YouTube is working perfectly at my end. YouTube is having a dog. It really is. Nikolai says, nice chat. Thank you, Nikolai. I created it myself. There's a little, I'll do this about half an hour before we started. I thought I'll knock some interactive charts up that will make up as we go along. Who is voting for these Paul Dirgers, says Telstar. Well, all of you lot are. YouTube. Yes, right, anyway, so I'm going to give you another 10 seconds on this poll. At the moment, Here, There and Everywhere has got 58% of the votes. Paul McCartney famously says that it's one of his favourite songs of all time. But let us end that poll now. I think that Here, There and Everywhere has won. But let's just get official confirmation through of that. I think it probably has pretty much won. Yeah, Here, There and Everywhere has got 57% of the vote. So that is through to the semi-final. Now we've got Eleanor Rigby versus No One. Ooh, 2 big poll hitters here. This is the last of our all poll clashes. Before you started putting other people into the next round. So it is, what is it again? It's Eleanor Rigby versus No One. For No One, sorry. Eleanor Rigney, I've typed. Let's get that fixed. Okay, so you should have your poll through now. That should be through. Neil says, do you think if John was alive and watching at the age of 81, he'd be jealous of all this Paul loving for his songs tonight? Yeah, probably. But who knows if John had the chance to continue building his legacy over the last 40 years, how things might have looked. Who knows? And, we could do this again tomorrow night. I'm not doing this again tomorrow night, but we could do it again tomorrow night and the draw could be completely different. And John might have 6 songs in the semi-final. Oh, yeah, Claire, it's absolutely ridiculous tonight. I apologise I apologise, but there's nothing I can do about it. There was a power cut, and now YouTube seems to be just being an absolute bugger. The polls are coming up before the last one has finished, says Graham. I think that's going to be a time difference thing. You cannot physically do 2 polls at the same time. So one poll is finishing before I do the next one. So I'm going to give you another 10 seconds on this one. Eleanor Rigby's got 62% of the vote at the moment. For No One, an absolute classic. Looks like it's getting dumped out in the quarter-final. Telstar says Eleanor Rigby is generally your favourite Beatles song. And yet it's George Martin's orchestra work doing all the glorious work. Fair enough. Let's end the poll. Let's end that poll. And it looks like Eleanor Rigby has made it through to the next round, to the semi-final. So we've now got an all John clash. And Your Bird Can Sing versus Tomorrow Never Knows in our final quarter-final. So let's see. Let's get you a poll up for that. Let's get you a poll. Let's see, has that come through? Yeah, it's fine. 61% was the final result there for Eleanor Rigby. Eliminating Taxman was a massive error, says Adri. Well, it was very, very close. It could have gone either way, could that one. Right, that poll's finished, so I can now start you a new one, which is going to be And Your Bird Can Sing versus Tomorrow Never Knows, which I've spelt wrong, but let's not worry about that. So that poll's through. Yes, Graham, and yes, I know the polls look out of sync. It's a time delay thing. I cannot start a new poll until I've ended the last one, so I am ending the polls and then starting new ones afterwards. Eleanor Rigby did win through there in the last one. Tomorrow Never Knows has got off to a cracking start here on this poll, which I'm not really surprised about, to be honest, because it was always going to do well, I think, in this particular contest. I am just announcing the new poll for Eleanor Rigby and no one now. Now, you see, on that Eleanor Rigby poll, you might have a bit of a delay at your end there, possibly, Matt. But what I can tell you is it must have been working okay, because there was over 100 people voted on that. So it is working okay. There just might be a delay at your end. You might not be fully up to date with live on the stream. But like, for example, this one I've put up now, we've had 97 votes already on this poll. So maybe you need to catch back up to live again, possibly. So Tomorrow Never Knows has got 2/3. Let's give this another 10 seconds. I don't think And Your Bird Can Sing can pull this one back. Tomorrow Never Knows has got 2/3 of the vote so far. So I think that's safely through to the semi-final. We'll see what the final result was, see what the final percentages was, but I can tell you definitely Tomorrow Never Knows won there. So I think we've got a very similar situation now at the end of the quarterfinals as what we had before, because Paul had 75%, which was 6 out of 8, and I think now if we move down to the semi-final, it's the same, really. Yeah, it's the same. Paul's got 3, John's got 1, but it's the same. Paul's got 75% of the songs into the semi-final. So there, yeah. Let's just have a look at what the final result was there. It was, there was 104 votes, thank you. Tomorrow Never Knows got 66% of the vote. That is through into the semi-final. So we are into the semi-finals now. Thank God we're getting there. We're getting there. Our first semi-final is in our Revolver Era World Cup. Paperback Writer versus Here, There and Everywhere. So let us get you a poll for this first semi-final. Paperback Writer as a Revolver Era song. So we've got Paperback is playing against, what was it? Even I've forgotten now. Here, There and Everywhere. Here, There and Everywhere. Let's get you that poll. Like I say, if you're still seeing a previous poll, you maybe need to catch up to live again. You may be lagging. There's plenty of people voting on these current polls, so they must be there. Some people might not be watching live. If you're not watching live, you can't vote on the latest polls. Right, so George would say, damn that Mccartney. He certainly would. I think that was an old comment I was referring to there. Anyway, how we're doing here, this looks like a closer one at the start anyway. We've got Here, There and Everywhere has got 52% of the vote after 66 votes have been cast. So this could be a very close one now. First semi-final is Paperback Writer, and it's versus Here, There and Everywhere. So two absolutely classics. Telstar's not happy that Paperback Writer's losing. So pit your case, state your case for Paperback Writer to win and see if people want to go with that. We've had 90 votes so far, which is great. Tyrone, when you play Tomorrow Never Knows, you get goosebumps. I'm not surprised. It's just, I mean, it sounds futuristic even now, doesn't it? It was just so ahead of its time. When you go back 4 years and you think that, you know, Love Me Do was sort of very progressive in terms of what was going on in the charts, and in just such a short space of time, it's only like 3.5 years from Love Me Do to Tomorrow Never Knows. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I think Splashy Moth Fan has summed it up. I think YouTube is struggling with the epicness of this stream. That must be it. I think you're right. I think we're breaking YouTube here with our 123 people watching, which is great considering the technical issues that we've had. To have that many people watching is something I'm very grateful to you all for. This is 51% to 49% now in favour of Paperback Writer. We've had 100 votes. 51 of you have voted Paperback Writer. 49 of you have voted Here, There and Everywhere. So I'm going to give this another 30 seconds. I don't want anybody to say that they haven't had a chance to vote on this. If you're 10 minutes behind, then you're not going to see this poll, are you? But I want everybody to have a chance to vote on this one. Perseverance tonight. What a pro. Well, what an amateur. You know, if I was a pro, it wouldn't be looking like this. But thank you for sticking with me. I am so grateful. It's because it's just ridiculous. 52% now for Paperback Writer. So I'm going to give it another 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End the poll. Now, when I hit end poll, it looked to me like 51% for Paperback Writer. We'll see whether that's actually on the end. Oh, look at that result. So I think that must be 50 point something for Paperback Writer and 49 point something for Here, There and Everywhere. 111 votes cast. By my quick maths, that makes it 56 votes for Paperback Writer and 55 votes for Here, There and Everywhere. Folks, you've delivered a World Cup classic in the semi-final. You really have. And Paperback Writer has won through into the final. Now, I wouldn't have bet on Paperback Writer making the final at the start, I must admit. But there you go. So our second semi-final. Can I take the day off work tomorrow, Andrew? Tell your boss you need to see Dr. Robert. Read the stress. Absolutely, yeah. Can I? Yes. I'd love the day off work tomorrow, but that ain't going to happen, unfortunately. So, right, let's crack on with our second semi-final. Oh, my goodness me. Look at this. Eleanor Rigby versus Tomorrow Never Knows. Well, I'm glad it's you deciding this and not me. Eleanor Rigby versus Tomorrow Never Knows. Let's see where this goes. This should be very, very interesting. Sorry, just 1 second. I've just typed both options into the same box. So let's just... Why do I put myself through this? Why do I do it? It's ridiculous. I could be sat watching telly, relaxing, instead of being stressed out. No, we do it because it's fun. We do it because it's fun. So, Graham says Oasis would love to write Paperback Writer. And they probably almost did on several occasions. No, it's not like golf, Matthew. No. Think more snooker. It's more snooker than golf. Chatter at YouTube office. It's just too awesome. I wish. This is Tomorrow Never Knows versus Eleanor Rigby is, you know, if they'd been separate halves of the draw, you wouldn't have bet against this as being the final, would you? I don't think I would have bet against it being the final anyway. But Eleanor Rigby is struggling at the moment on 42% of the vote. Tomorrow Never Knows. This would be interesting, wouldn't it? After all, you look at how amazingly Paul McCartney was doing at the start of this World Cup. He got the first 6 polls, all went Paul McCartney's way. And he might not win. 54% to 46% in favour of Tomorrow Never Knows at the moment. So let's give it a bit of time. I want everybody to have a chance to vote. Yeah, I don't want anybody saying they didn't get the chance to vote. Adri thinks that Eleanor is the better one. Both had a lot of George Martin influence. Absolutely. Where would they have been without George Martin in that kind of era? So, okay, 53% now for Tomorrow Never Knows, 47% for Eleanor Rigby. This is going very, very well for Tomorrow Never Knows at the moment. But it would just take a few votes in a row for Eleanor Rigby to really sort of bring this back. So I'm going to give you another 20 seconds on this while we look at the chat. Get your votes in. You've got 20 seconds left to vote, folks. Could I do an I Me Mine book review, says Rainers. I've not read it yet. So I would certainly like to once I've read it. I was very, very thankful to my uncle. I don't know if he's watching. He sometimes does. Who gave me that book for my big zero ending birthday last year. And it was the first time I'd probably ever even held that book in my hands. But I haven't had a chance to read it yet. Matt, that is amazing of you. Thank you so much. You've genuinely enjoyed this stream tonight. It's been an easy one to not enjoy with all the technical issues, but that is very kind of you. Thank you so much, Matt. Really kind. Right, I said 20 seconds, didn't I? A minute and a half ago. Right, so I'm going to end the poll because I think most of you have voted now. And we should see that Tomorrow Never Knows. Wow, there must have been a late surge for Eleanor Rigby here, but it didn't quite get it. We had 118 votes, 50 point something % of you voted for Tomorrow Never Knows, 49 point something voted for Eleanor Rigby. So Tomorrow Never Knows is into the final. But that was really close. I think there was only sort of 1 or 2 votes in that at the end. So we've got our finalists. We have got our finalists here. And from Paul doing really, really, really well, it's now 50-50. Look at that. My interactive charts, 50-50. Paul has got 1. John has got 1 in the final. Paperback Writer versus Tomorrow Never Knows for our Revolver era World Cup of Beatles songs. So let me get you a poll. I mean, I suspect I'm going to write down and we'll reveal at the end. Where's my poll gone? I've just pressed something that I think I shouldn't have pressed. And flipping X Simon, that is thank you so much for sheer perseverance. I ought to arrange some technical issues more often, hadn't? No, I hadn't. No, definitely not. But that is really appreciated. Thank you. What did I miss? Where are we? Well, we're all over the place, frankly, crazy for Beatles. We are about to enter the final of the Revolver era of Beatles songs. And it's, what's this poll that's just, ignore this poll that's just come up. Because it's, I think I double pressed something and it just put a yes, no poll up. So end that poll. That's ridiculous. That's nonsense. And I'll put you a proper poll up. Paula says, come on, tomorrow was a world ahead of its time. It really, really was. So, come on, let me get you this poll. Claire says, I will be drinking something stronger than cider after this. I might just have to pull out this bottle of whiskey that's sat down here and pour one of those. We might just have to do that in a moment. If anybody wants to pour a whiskey at their end and join me, because I think I'm about to do that. But I'm just getting your poll ready. Apologies for how long this is taking. So we've got Paperback Writer and we've got, come on, Tomorrow Never Knows. I nearly said Tomorrow Never Dies there. That'd be the James Bond World Cup, wouldn't it? Okay. The button says, ask your community. That's the button that I'm pressing. So your poll for the final, yes, no, I know, yeah. I accidentally double pressed on the button and it just sent out a yes, no poll. So scrap that. We have now got, Graham says Tomorrow Never Knows should completely win considering the amount of work in it. Yeah, absolutely. So you should have your proper poll up now of Paperback Writer versus Tomorrow Never Knows. That should be visible at your end now. I'm going to finish this cider. I'm going to take a deep breath and dream of sheep, as Kate Bush said. Was that a Yoko poll? Yes or no? It could have been Faber, couldn't it? Yeah. You know, what did John say? It said yes, it said something positive. If it had said no or like rip off or something, it would have just walked out of there. Yeah, don't worry about that yes, no vote, Martin. That was just me. That was just me and fat fingers. So you should have your actual poll up now of Tomorrow Never Knows versus Paperback Writer. So I've got here in my hand I've just picked up off the floor the piece of paper. When I did the draw, I threw all the bits of paper on the floor. I've picked up the one that I would vote for. It's in my hand here. Don't worry about the yes/no votes, everybody. That was just a complete and utter balls up at my end. If we'd have all voted yes on that poll, there would have been world peace. Yeah, should have left that poll up, shouldn't I? Might have solved a lot of problems in the world. Tomorrow Never Knows has currently got 68% of the vote out of how many votes? 113. This is great because there's 120 of you watching and 113 have voted. So that is an excellent strike rate of voters to viewers. Thank you for that. I'm getting all maths again, aren't I? Mike, you can hear me, but I'm semi-frozen. Yeah, it's just I'm just writing tonight off as just an absolute no-hoper. But we're fighting through it, and we're trying to salvage something from the wreckage of the technicalities that have beset this live stream tonight. So Tyrone says, Andrew, did you watch the Lionesses? I'm going to admit, I didn't. I just couldn't. I didn't have time. I just couldn't get into it. They did brilliant. They did fantastic. I just couldn't get into it myself, so I didn't watch it. Probably about the only person who didn't. You're still counting this, Matuthu Ethan? You're counting it as a Paul victory as he did all the fun loops and such. Yeah, Paul was. I think Paul doesn't get enough credit for the things that John did, like this, like Tomorrow Never Knows, and the avant-garde stuff like Revolution 9. Just how much John probably learnt from Paul, and how much. I know Paul wasn't involved in Revolution 9 so much, but in terms of a lot of the technicalities of things, it was Paul who was the driving force originally doing all that kind of thing. Before John was. Mozart, you thought it would be Here, There and Everywhere and Tomorrow Never Knows. You would have voted for Here, There and Everywhere. Okay. I'm going to give you another 20 seconds. I think this is clear where this is going. We've actually had 132 votes out of 111 people watching. I don't know how that works. I don't know technically how on earth that can happen, but fantastic. Thank you anyway. It's time to surrender to the void, says Jinky. Yes. So another 10 seconds. Nick Drake, Brighter Later. What an album. What an album that is. I'm ending the poll, folks. I'm ending the poll. And it is your winner. Drum roll. It shouldn't be drum roll, should it? It should be... That's a Ringo Tomorrow Never Knows fill, isn't it? Your winner of the Revolver era World Cup of Beatles songs is Tomorrow Never Knows. Congratulations to John Lennon for Tomorrow Never Knows. After all that amazing start, you see, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish, Paul McCartney. No point getting 6 out of 8 into the next round if you're going to stumble in the final. I say, I had that piece of paper in my hand, didn't I, as to where I was going to vote. I would have to have voted Tomorrow Never Knows. Because it's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Do a poll on actual Beatles albums as well, said No Plastic. I'm pretty sure I've done a World Cup of Beatles albums already. I've done a lot of Beatles-related World Cups. Most of them technically went a lot better than this one did. But I have done that before. So, Mikey will join me in a glass of scotch later this week. I think I might just have to... Oh, there's hardly any left, look. There's hardly any left in there. But that might have to get done tonight, just as I recover from this ordeal, this experience, which has been great fun, but it has aged me, and I've got a lot more grey hairs. Next World Cup, the Ruttles. Legends in their own lunchtime. What a band. Mark, now's the time to say goodnight. Sleep tight. Thanks, Andrew. It was hard work, but we got there. Relax and float downstream. Thank you, Mark, for watching. All the polls worked. Lots of votes. Loads of fun. Thanks for doing it. Thank you, David. It was, yeah, I wasn't sure at one point whether we were going to get to this point tonight, whether we were actually going to finish this, or whether I was just going to go and hide away in a corner somewhere and pretend it had never happened. But we got here. And I hope, for those, if anybody's watching on catch up, I hope all the technicalities have sort of sorted themselves out by the time you watch it. Wow. If anybody's got any final things that they want to ask or discuss, let me know. I'm not going to be on much longer. I've got an early start in the morning. I've got to be up and out. I've actually got to go out to work tomorrow for about the third time in 2.5 years, because I normally just stay at home all day. So if anybody's got any last things that they want to discuss, then let me know before we wrap it up. Thank you, everybody who's saying thank you for me seeing this through to the bitter end. It's been interesting. Hi, George. You're here late. What did I miss? Where do I start? Where do I start with what you've missed? Well, we've done the Revolver era World Cup of songs. It didn't look like it was going to happen at one point, where I've had so many technical issues. Paul McCartney won through the first 6 battles, were all Paul victories, but ultimately he was defeated in the final. The final was Tomorrow Never Knows versus Paperback Writer. John Lennon won that final with, what percentage? 65% of the votes for Tomorrow Never Knows. He won. It was... it was emotional. It really was. It really was emotional. Do you know what? I am going to have this whiskey. I'm going to have a whiskey with you all to say thank you for sticking with me through all of this. I'm going to finish this bottle of whiskey that's got hardly any left in it. It's taken me about 2 years to get through this bottle of whiskey because I don't have much very often. Britpop next for the next World Cup, says Neil. Interesting. I would love to do a Britpop World Cup. I don't know how many people would be interested, but I might do that. And those of us that are in it would hopefully enjoy it very much. Claire, you could definitely have saved yourself an awful lot of bother after tonight's fiasco. Absolutely. Cheers, everybody. If anybody's taking a whiskey with me, then cheers. Hot jambalaya, that's good. Oh, dear me. Whew. So, there we have it. The Revolver World Cup. I deliberately chose this week because it's the anniversary of the release of Revolver on Friday, 5th of August. But also there's been these rumours. And it is just rumour at this stage. It's not definite. But it certainly seems to have a lot more credibility than certain other rumours that are doing the rounds. There is these rumours that the next of the big Beatles box sets will be Revolver in October. But that is just rumour at the moment. But yeah, it does sound plausible. Definitely. Won't be the only thing in October if it does happen. It's October, you might want to save some pennies. Get some pennies saved in your August and your September pay, ready for October, because it could be an expensive month, but a good one. So, what's the best date for the Mark Lewison gig, says Tyrone? Well, it's either Friday the 7th of October or Saturday the 8th. Saturday the 8th he's doing 2 shows, afternoon and evening. I'm going on Saturday afternoon. But he does say that he's hoping to have the show recorded and, filmed and streamed. But we don't know yet whether that's a live stream or a stream that would follow later. We don't know the answer to that. So, we don't know. What was this? I just missed a bit of a comment there from Graham. It's a great shame there was no one realises how important Neil Aspinall played in Beatles history. Absolutely, and Neil was the last man standing. It's a shame that Neil didn't get a few more years. He kind of, I think he would have. He deserved a good long retirement that he never got, unfortunately. Mark Lewison said that he'd had kind of clearance from the Beatles camp, and he'd had agreement with Neil Aspinall that Mark was going to do a lot of interviews with Neil for the tune-in books, and